a new segment we're going to be adding to this show, and that is 15 minutes customer connections with Kevin. Because I want to say, Kevin is the man when it comes to customer service. And I just want to dedicate part of this show, 15 minutes every time we do a junk family. And we're just going to focus on customer service because I feel like that's really could help a lot of people out and all. So anybody in the chat, if you guys have any questions for Kevin as far as customer service, please feel free to put it in the chat. And anybody on screen right now, let's talk customer service for the next 15 minutes, guys. So I'm marking the time right now. Let's go, Kevin.
Hell yeah. Bring me on. Bring those questions in. How about any of you guys? You guys got any questions?
Well, I guess before you guys open it up, can I just make a quick, totally off-topic thing? So, Paul, I don't want you to judge me because we're going to have a call later. So I don't want any of you guys to think this is actual soda, that I'm just like on a diet and drinking soda. This is the Diet Zero Sugar, which, Paul, I have so many questions about Diet Coke. I'm going to ask you when we talk. You don't need to tell me if I'm doing it wrong or right now, but just realize, guys, it's diet, okay? It's zero sugar, 0 calories. Okay. Anyways,
I heard diet was worse for you than regular because of
we're gonna get into that on that conversation. But the one thing I do want to say, and Sarah knows this because I know she's been paying attention to my new fitness channel, is at the beginning. We're getting some feedback somewhere. At the beginning, all I want everybody to drink is water for now. The reason why, Andrew, is that Diet Coke tastes so damn good. It's going to make you never want to drink water. So when you're drinking that water, it's going to be plain. But if you just stick to water, man, you're going to actually enjoy it, bro. But as soon as you have something with flavor.
I'll do it for you.
I'm on 3-day water fast, right? 3 days water fast.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to start just doing water, but you can do it, Andrew.
I can do it. I can do it. I'm going to get it on autopilot too, where I don't even have to think about it. It's just going to happen.
There you
go. So Kevin, sorry, I didn't mean. I just wanted to,
throw that out there. Perfect time. It's 5:25 over here, so 15 minutes starting now. So I want to kick this off with just a quick question and everything. And it's not really a question. I just want to see like a procedure that you follow as far as you get a phone call in and you're on your way to the job. Like, what are the steps that you approach this as?
Oh, you mean like the call ahead?
The call ahead. How do you train your employees to handle it like on the way there when they leave? Like, do they have like a protocol they got to follow?
Yeah, we typically, giving the customer a call about 15 to 30 minutes before their promise window, just kind of getting them, kind of introducing yourself, hey, good morning. This is Kevin with Survivor Drunk Removal. I was hoping to speak with, whatever the customer's name is, and it's always a good thing to kind of introduce yourself first instead of asking for like Mrs. Smith, because, when you're calling somebody and they're like, oh, can I speak to Mr. Smith? Like, oh, he's either a bill collector or, trying to sell me something. So it's always good to actually identify yourself first. And then once you talk to them, you're like, hey, the reason I'm calling is to confirm your appointment today between 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock. We have your address listed as this and this and this. You specify your ETA. Even something as simple as, hey, is there anywhere particular we should park when we get there? Kind of shows that, kind of care about their property, instead of if they don't want you on their driveway, then, you park in the street or whatever. But you utilize that as you're starting building rapport with the customers, and everything's confirmed. So you're like, all right, perfect. I had a quick question. I was just wondering, what type of project you and your me and my partner want to know what kind of project you're working on, so that we're going to be helping you today, because you're trying to identify their value keys right off the bat, and you're trying to build that rapport. It's like, awesome, we can definitely help you out there. But the most important part of that conversation is, you're planting that seed for finding more junk before you get there. Because, if you're going out to a job and it's just a single item, a sofa or a mattress or just a couple things, the thing is, that's just the project they're working on. 99% of the time they have more junk, but they're not thinking about it because this is the project they're working on. Single items are the easiest thing to upsell. You come out there and you're like, hey, we just wanted to let you know, take a look around before we arrive, make sure there's nothing else we can, help you get rid of or donate today. Like you can start naming off stuff like mattresses, TVs, brush piles, and let them know, hey, we're fully licensed and insured, which means we can go anywhere in your home, and then start listing off places that they're not thinking about: the basements, the attics, the crawl spaces, the backyards, and then what me and Matt were talking about, the sheds, if they have a barn, the things that they don't think about at that time. But that kind of gets the gears going in their head, or like, hey, you're coming to get a sofa, but my husband's been procrastinating about getting that crap out of the basement for the past 9 months. While you're here, do you mind taking a look at it? So you might have gone to pick up a $150 sofa, but you're going to leave with 2 truckloads because their basement is jam packed full of stuff. So yes, that helps you make more money, but guess what? You just exceeded the expectations of the customer as well.
I love
it's
it.
a win-win situation. You're going to make more money, your truck team makes more money, and the customer, you just exceeded their expectation and blew them away. Now she's going to be super happy, and she gets to rub it in her husband's face that I took care of this or whatever. But during those things, and what we were talking about, Paul, and when you're giving that call ahead, you plant that seed, and then hey, we'll be there in about 20-25 minutes. Me and my partner, we're going to stop and fuel up really fast. You want me to grab you a coffee? I know it's early. I can grab you a coffee if you want. Just a little thing like that. It just, again, you're exceeding their expectations. Who the hell offers to bring them a coffee or a water, on a hot day or somebody? What service does that? They're coming out to clean your carpets. There's nobody going to do that. The guy's cutting down your trees, or, pressure washing your house. They're not going to do that. So you're exceeding, their expectations right off the bat. Now, when you show up to their house, they feel like they know you already. You've already talked to them. You already started that, rapport with them. They feel like they know you when you show up. So they like you already. They already trust you. They already, man, this guy just offered me coffee. I love this dude. So why would they say no to me when I give them a price later on? Does that make sense to everybody?
100%, brother. And like I said, I tried that out today, on the way there, half an hour before. I said, I'm just going to stop off and gas up. Can I get you anything, water or coffee? And they're like, oh my God, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. But no. And like, it just changed everything when I got there. It just like set the tone and all. And then another thing that I did today was, they wanted the mattress removed from the second floor. It was a king size mattress. And I was like, no problem and everything. And then, after we were done with that, the lady, she was an elderly lady, and she was just like, do you think you could help me just bring up the new one? She's like, I have it downstairs, and I just need it brought up. And I was like, no problem at all. And she's like, do you want something? And I was like, no, not at all, we got you for that. I said, you know what I would if you were happy with his service, if you would just leave me a review, that would be great. And she was so happy the second I left there, she put the review down there. And so it's just like small things like that going overboard for them. It really shows them, and it gets you a lifetime customer. I think I remember hearing Matt Vick saying that in junk removal, I think it's a customer is over a lifetime is worth like $5,000. Is that correct? Did you say something like that?
Yeah, I would say about $5,000. They'll keep calling you back over and over again. And one thing too, I would do, if you see someone pulling in their trash cans when you're pulling up, what me and the Julio would do is we'll hop out and pull that trash can in for the customer. People just love that customer service. Make sure you just treat them good and they'll treat you good.
Even if you see
golden, you can't beat it.
If you see a newspaper on their driveway, go run down and grab it and bring it to them personally. Little things like that. And Matt's right. The lifetime value of a customer is at least $5,000. So, that's why you should always find a way, never walk away from a job. There's always going to be a way to get something. You have to get some type of revenue in that truck, even if they can't afford the full, service that you came to pick up. There's priority items that you can get to actually get some type of money that'll work within their budget, especially go after the hard, heavy stuff that, they can't take care of their own. So, hey, you know what, you can still work with them. You might not walk away with the full $1,500 that the whole job costs, but you walk away with $500 worth of stuff, you won, because if you walk away and say, hey, you don't have 1,500, bye, you're not my customer. Guess what? You just lost money, because you have to pay for that fuel to get there. You have to pay for your guy's salary. You have to pay for maintenance, all that stuff. and you're losing money. So find a way to get some type of revenue in that truck. I always say get revenue in the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, how do you deal with getting reviews? How do you go about that?
Typically, I always start the process when I go to explain how the service works. The last part of it, I always let them know, hey, if you basically, actually, I'll show you right here. When I explain the service, I have this on the back of my price list. I have this couple little icons to make it really transparent how, to kind of explain my service. I let them know, hey, we walk through, take a look at everything you have, give you a thorough evaluation of everything. We give you a free, no obligation estimate on the spot. If you're good with it, we can start as early as today. And if at any time I'm not giving you a 5-star service, let me, come tap me on the shoulder and let me know. And I plant that seed at the very beginning so that when I finish the job, it's going to be really easy to get a Google review, because it's, when they're paying and I'm, kind of reminding them of their, value and that we had for them. I always say, hopefully I gave you a 5-star service today. Yes. Well, great. Well, I started off, I have a QR code on my price list that will take them straight to my Google reviews, but I actually got one of those cards where you just tap on their phone and it takes them straight to the Google reviews. But they always plant that seed at the very beginning. I got it free. Everybody's friend Russ Berry decided he wanted to send me one. He was getting some ready, and he reached out to me and sent me one.
I am getting friendly with Russ.
I want to know what other questions do we have for customer service, and does any of these practices that Kevin was just talking about, has anybody tried them on the truck, or how about like Sarah? Yeah, Sarah, let's hear what you guys got to say about that.
I have a question for Kevin. So this is the first time this situation had happened to us. We got a call the other day. It's for a single item pickup. I give her the price. She says, okay, come on over. We're on the way. We send her the text letting her know we're on the way, ETA and everything. And about 5 to 7 minutes before we arrive, a man calls from her phone and says, hey, I want to cancel the junk removal order, and then just hangs up. How would you, what would you do in that situation?
Oh man, it happens, sometimes, a lot of times, the wife will call and have you come, to come in because they're tired. Like I mentioned before, they're tired of their husband not actually doing it. So sometimes they'll, get pissed off and say, hey, we don't need anybody to come out here and everything else. If he gives you, if you get the opportunity to actually speak with him, that way you can kind of explain how your service works and kind of start really establishing the value of your service to him. It's a lot harder. I mean, you can call back after he hangs up on you, but obviously if there's an issue,
you could just be like, I think we just got disconnected, and then start pitching it like that.
Oh, I think we got disconnected, Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that, how our service works and everything else, and just be professional with them. Just kind of, start building a conversation with him. If, whatever way you can, then he start to like you and he'll start to trust you, and you just building that rapport with him, and just, be it personal, because everybody really trust people that they like. I guarantee you that Matt Vick goes into a customer's house, he probably closes almost every single one of his jobs because he's a likable person.
Yeah.
And people like that and they trust him, right off the bat. Now you start learning how to do that intentionally and start training other guys to do that intentionally, and create other Matt Vicks. You can have a whole team of them and have that as part of your training, but back to your question, it's just about being personal with people. And if you get that opportunity before he hangs up on you, or like, Paul said, call him back and say, hey, I think we got disconnected. I just wanted, if he has, try to find out what his objection is. Why doesn't he want you to come? Does he think it's too expensive, or, they don't have time, they're not ready to do it now? Find out what his objective is. Find out what their, challenges. What you said, they were picking up one item.
Yeah.
What kind of item was
it? It was a
pillow cover, like a bed cover.
A bed cover for a truck. And
Okay.
so
let me ask you an important question.
Yeah.
Why were they getting rid of it?
She said it was her mother-in-law's house and it had been there forever and she just wanted it gone.
Okay.
And when I gave her the price, she asked somebody, like she confirmed with someone else while she was on the phone. And then she was like, oh, they want this much for it. And then she was like, okay, yes, bring them over. Okay. And then she told me to come over. So it's like she had already got the okay from whoever else she was talking to. But then he called, we like thought about it within those like 20, 30 minutes, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's always important to find out why they're getting rid of the junk, because that way you can cater, you know, a solution to them. You're not just a junk removal service. You actually will cater a solution to whatever challenge that they have. So if you get the opportunity to talk, you know, you already established that value to the lady you talked to. You didn't have that opportunity to do it with the husband that called and hung up on you. So, you know, call him back, try to start that conversation with him, and try to really establish, you know, hey, I know you guys are getting rid of that because of this and this and this, and then cater your solution. Hey, you know, if it's taking up too much space that they have, you know, hey, we'll get it out of there. You'll have your space back, and right away. Or they didn't have time to do it themselves. Hey, we'll go in there. We'll knock that out in 10 minutes, and we'll, you know, you can go on with your day. Or maybe it's an effort thing. You know, it's really heavy. Hey, don't worry about it. We got 2 strong guys coming out here or 1 strong guy, 1 strong woman to come out here and take care of that for you. You know, that shows the value of your service, because you just offered them a solution that caters to whatever challenge they have. You know, I always go off of those 3 things: that time, space, or effort. You know, it's usually one of those things. Sometimes it's multiple things. You know, it could be time and space. You know, they don't have time to do it and they need that space back by the weekend or what have you. But those things are usually what everybody calls you about. It's either going to be time, space, or effort. That's their value key. And you have to find out why that is, so that
The
you
why
can establish.
Kevin, you taught me that, like, to really ask that, like, why, or in some way to figure out why they want to get rid of it. Like, you taught me that, and I really, really appreciate that. I do.
Can I say something?
Sure, Steve.
Yeah. I've gotten a lot of jobs. Like when I'm on the phone, I'll just tell them, I'll give them other solutions other than me. Right. And almost every time I do that, I get the job. Like I give them all kinds of solutions. You can take it to Goodwill. You can put it on Craigslist. I say stuff like that. But the whole time I'm doing it, I know that I'm going to get the job anyway. Somehow I do. And so, Kevin, you're spot on.
You're exceeding their expectations by doing things like that.
Another thing I do is, like, I'll walk around, I'll see something stupid on the ground, like a little piece of color, because I'm really anal about getting rid of all the color in the yard. Like if there's a red piece of something or a blue piece, I pick it up. But I do it in front of the customers because sometimes they see you do that. I don't say nothing. I just pick it up and put it in my pocket, you know, and a lot of times they go on the extra mile. They really love that. But I'm glad to be a part of this group. You guys are all kicking ass, man. I'm loving this stuff. You guys are
hell yeah,
very inspiring, very inspiring. So anyways, back to business. I'll shut my mic off.